Grace Jones, geboren in Jamaica, was eens een gevierd internationaal topmodel. Een excentriek figuur die al veel eerder de aandacht op zich wist te vestigen door haar impulsief gedrag en een nogal vreemdsoortige act op het toneel waar het gebruik van tijgers normaal scheen. Maar voor een echte doorbraak is meer nodig. Goede muziek bijvoorbeeld. En met haar laatste LP Nightclubbing heeft ze ook bij de muziekliefhebbers de juiste toon geraakt. Het is een opvallend LP waar we grote namen op terugvinden als David Bowie, Iggy Pop en Sting van de Police. Countdown had een ontmoeting met het fenomeen Grace Jones. Hello Grace, this is an interview. 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on Grace.
Okay. What was the question? I think I was a bit waxy
Yes,
here.
the question was that Nightclubbing became your breakthrough. Why have Sting, David Bowie and Iggy Pop worked on your new LP?
Well, I think we were following the path from Warm Leather Red album, where we were looking for material that was very unlikely for me to do. You know, something that people would say, but, you know, she's doing that, you know. And it was also music that was very dramatic and very much me in my own way, you know. And working with this music was unpredictable, which was very nice. And this is something we wanted to do.
What are your connections with David Bowie? Do you have a special relationship with him?
Well, we met in Paris a few times with friends, and you know, just partying and hanging out together. But you know, it's a very social context in that sense. Outside of that, no, we have no relationship outside of friends, knowing friends.
Did Sting offer you the number?
Yeah. He offered me, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 songs.
Demolition Man, eh?
Yeah, that was one of them. And we really liked it.
Where did you get the idea for your hairstyle?
Oh, well, this, I've always shaved certain parts of my head, you know. I never liked long hair, so I always shaved it. And this particular one came from a drawing that Jean-Paul Gault did of me, and we decided to cut the hair like that. Normally it's supposed to be shaven closer in all this area, and then this on the top, you know, flat top. It's a sort of modern version of your Marine Corps hairdo.
Do you find many people copying your hairstyle?
Now, yes. And mostly men.
Men?
Yeah.
Isn't it hard to keep it in good... yeah, watch the bird.
I think it's coming alive.
Isn't it hard to get it in a good... to keep it in a good shape?
Oh, no, it's on the contrary. It's like a bush, you know, like when you cut grass like this, like a hedge. You know, it stays. No matter what I do, it stays that shape, you know.
Lekker.
Yeah. It grows out, you know, and you keep cutting. But even if it grows out, you can still keep the same shape. And it's just really keeping this part shaven, you know. That's the hardest part, because I have a tendency to get pimples back here.
You've built up a certain image. Isn't it hard to maintain this?
No, actually. Even if I try not to make a fool of myself or do something crazy, you know, it's always something is happening. You know.
Why did you hit Russell Harty?
I guess. Well, because he was very rude, and you know, I said, if that's the way he wants to be, then this is the way I have to be. It's my reaction. Yeah, I'm usually quite spontaneous, and especially when I am tired, I have no patience for anything, and I just react immediately to the situation. And they had a very bad seating on the show, and I was supposed to be opening and closing the show. And when I came on, he asked me, first of all, very stupid questions. I mean, so dumb that I made up my own answer to a question I imagined in my head. And then after that, he became frustrated because I guess he felt we weren't communicating. And so he turned his back, and he was talking to all the other guests, which we were all supposed to be involved in a conversation about fashion and photography and all of this. And this is why I was asked to fly from America to do the show, you know. So I thought it was rather rude, so I smacked him a few times to say, you know, listen, you're being very rude, and I'm going to get off the show if he doesn't do something about it.
It brought you a lot of publicity, so.
Well, I know everybody thought it was planned, but it was again one of those things, you know, and I was happy about it. Shucks, I should have hit him harder.
May I ask you something about your shows? Former shows were rather decadent.
Decadent.
You didn't even
Aggressive.
hesitate to introduce tigers on the stage. Why did you do it?
Oh, because if a girl says, you know, it's a shock treatment for the audience. For some of them, not all of them are shocked. Some of them expect it, you know. And if you don't do it, they do it for me, you know. They'll come up, you know, on the stage, and you know, people think that some of the things are planned, and a lot of times they're not. The people come up out of the audience and perform. They become a part of the act, you know. I like to get a reaction, definitely a reaction. And if I am very nice and I don't get the reaction, then I become very mean and I get the reaction, you know. I get a better reaction, I think, being a little more aggressive.
Okay, but maybe wild animals doesn't belong on the stage.
Well, we only did that actually once when we had the tiger on stage, and we had him, you know. He was a very good actor. He was great. I mean, we did a video where he was in the cage, and I came out dressed like a female tigress, I guess. Except I had a horse's tail on, so I don't know what I was exactly. And came out dancing around the cage, and he just growled when he saw me. And he was laying down panting, you know, very intensely, and got up and followed me around the cage, you know, as I danced around the cage. So he didn't seem like he didn't like it, and he wasn't drugged at all. And afterwards, I'm supposed to get in the cage, and he goes underneath the stage. And then the people think that we had a fight, because you hear, it's a total blackout, and you hear a growling, and then when it comes back up, I've got a piece of meat in my mouth, like that, you know, like we had a fight, and like I ate the tiger.
Hi, I'm David Bowie, and you're watching Countdown, Europe's #1 rock show.